Is everyone okay?
That was epic! Let's do it again! I'm okay. Sorta.
Launchpad McQuack. All present and accounted for. I think everything's kind of fuzzy. Goslin, where are you?
Here, Dad!
Goslin?
Dad?
Canardians, welcome to another St. Canard's File, a Darkwing Duck podcast. I'm your host, Will Santana, and
I'm Mike Russo, and I may be a size too petite, but whoa. Okay, wait, back up. Will, is that you?
Me and my daughter had to do a little trading faces there, man.
Oh, for a second I had no idea what was going on. If you was in your body, if you were in hers, I don't know what's going on here.
All right, well, Mike, hey, man, we got a special guest co-host with us today.
All right.
Yeah, we got Lynette with us. Hey, Lynette.
Hi, Lynette.
Hi.
Yeah, how's it going?
Oh, it's been going good. How about you guys?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good, man.
Yeah, things are good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so Lynette, we were at the same place one time, but we didn't get to run into each other at SAC Anime.
Yeah, it was SAC Anime. I was doing the volunteer work, and basically the main reason why I actually was volunteering for the SAC Anime Expo is because, well, I wanted to meet Jim Cummings.
Did you get to meet Terry and Katie also?
Well, just drive-bys of Terry McGovern. Like, he was like going outside, going back to the hotel, and I just like mentioned that he did a great job as Launchpad, and he said, "Yeah, thanks."
No luck with Katie though?
No luck with Katie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was with both of them the whole time, pretty much at the convention. Just following them with a camera. I look like a stalker in a way.
Well, if you're gonna stalk somebody.
Mm-hmm. So Lynette, tell us, how did you even get into Darkwing? How old were you?
Well, I was like kind of like 6 years old, and that was back in '96 when I first know about Darkwing Duck. So I was like kind of in the first grade, and then a couple of years later, like where my whole elementary school class was having like a birthday party, like for the month of January or February or for the months, and one of my classmates actually brought a VHS of the Darkwing Duck episode called Darkwing Duck and Duck Part 1 and 2, and we watched the entire video in class. It was the best party ever. And then right after that, I actually started reading like fan fiction about it, and then that's like in mid-2000s, 2008. And then when the comic book, The Duck Knight Returns, came out in 2010, that's where I got hooked with it, and then I've been a fan ever since.
Oh, wow. You know, you're younger than me and Mike, and that's really cool to see a 90s baby into it.
Yeah, I'm 29 right now, but I'm going to be like 30 in like 3 months.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. For me, it was a little different. You know, I was 10 years old. I think, Mike, you were like 12, 13 when Darkwing came out?
Yeah, I was 12.
Okay. Yeah, so we were a little older than you, but, you know, hey, I don't care, man. As long as you're a Darkwing fan, you're a family of mine.
Mm-hmm.
No, thank you.
That is true.
Yeah, so Lynette, do you have a favorite Darkwing episode?
Actually, I don't have a favorite Darkwing episode, but I love almost every single episode that's on there. And I just love the two-parters, especially the Justice Ducks one. That was the best one, which is all superheroes and all supervillains came out. And yeah, that was like one of my favorites.
Oh,
And if I were to pick my absolute favorite, it would definitely have to be the pilot as well, when they first met.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Now, Lynette, who's your favorite villain?
Oh, it has to be Negaduck.
There we go. So we got Negaduck, we got Quackerjack, we have Megavolt. Top three right there.
All right, now Lynette, I asked Mike this on our premiere episode that we did on the podcast. So I'm gonna ask you the same question.
Okay.
Who is your favorite character, but you can't choose Darkwing? Your favorite good guy.
Okay, so if I can't pick Darkwing, then I can definitely pick Gosalyn.
Okay.
Because, she's a tomboy. She plays sports. I used to play sports, but I'm not very good at it. But
that was my answer, Gosalyn.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Mike, what episode are we doing today, man?
We are doing Trading Faces.
All right. Let's go ahead and get into it. We've got our guest co-host. I'm sure you're ready to roll. I'm ready to roll. Let's go ahead and get into it. So, Mike, we're doing Trading Faces. Who was it? No, what's the air date and production order?
Okay, this one originally aired Tuesday, September 24th, 1991, and it was 11th in production order, so it's kind of like it aired right around the right time. Honestly, it's a early one, not too early. Second episode to feature Steelbeak in both production and air date order, so we're on track with that. Our story editor for this one was Tad.
All right, Tad.
Yep. And if he's listening, hi, Tad. How's it going? And our writers for this episode were Dev Ross. We've talked about him. Mm-hmm. He wrote What a Way to Go and Apes of Wrath. And the co-writer for this one was a woman named Julia Jane Leewald. The only other episode of Darkwing she wrote was You Sweat Your Life with Marion Wells. We talked about that writer who wrote Easy Come, Easy Grows. Mm-hmm. So there we go. We have two writers in this one. Julia Jane Leewald, she wrote a handful of Rescue Rangers episodes, Goof Troop, Tailspin, also stuff like X-Men, Cat Dog, Men in Black, and she's still active as of 2017 at least. So yeah, there's our story editor, there's our writer, and this one was animated in Sunwoo.
Sunwoo. Okay.
Sunwoo again, yep.
Sunwoo's decent to me. There was only one thing that I can remember that kind of like impressed me with the animation on this episode. Was there anything that kind of got your attention?
The animation's about average on this one. I think the opening is pretty nice with all the shadows of Darkwing.
I was gonna go with the intro at the very beginning with the lightning at the bridge and stuff.
Yeah, it isn't too flashy, but there's a couple of nice moments. Characters are on model. It's decent for Sunwoo. Nothing special, but, it's fine. Mm-hmm. But, okay. So, yeah.
Yeah, so but before we get into the episode, Lynette, does this episode remind you of anything?
Well, it does. The actual main thing of the episode, it kind of reminds me of, well, I'm a huge fan of the DuckTales 2017 version, mm-hmm. and there's a season 2 finale. I think you guys heard of it, Moonvasion.
Oh yeah, it's a great episode.
We may or may not have talked about that episode.
Yeah. That kind of reminds me of that.
Okay, I know for me it reminds me of Vice Versa with Fred Savage. There's like 2 or 3 different Disney versions of Freaky Friday, and there was an 80s movie with Corey Feldman called Dream a Little Dream that this also reminds me of. So
right. I would say Freaky Friday and Vice Versa are probably the 2 things where this trope is coming from, the body switching trope.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's just a very common cliche, especially with cartoons. Just the whole body switching thing is an easy go-to. Mm-hmm. It's like that's right alongside with time travel and shrinking and, body switching. The episode that, this reminds me the most of is a Tailspin episode that aired not even a year before. It was called A Baloo Switcheroo. Oh, yeah. And it's very interesting to compare this Darkwing episode with that Tailspin episode. I actually watched the Tailspin episode right before I watched this, and it's actually kind of fun to compare not just the stories, but even the art styles. Coming off Tailspin, Darkwing Duck is so different, man. Because I will admit, I love Tailspin. It's a really good show. Really well written, great voices. I don't love it as much as Darkwing, but man, it holds up really well. But it's interesting how that show does the body switching versus how Darkwing does it. I think the Tailspin episode's a bit more cliche. Like an artifact is what switches them, Baloo and Kip. And they keep it a secret because reasons, I guess. They don't really They want to keep it a secret, and it's like there's a ticking clock. You must switch back in 10 minutes, or it becomes permanent, which is, the ticking clock is so cliche in these shows. And it's like the worst, the biggest drama over the switch bodies is, oh no, Blue has to do an air race, but he can't do it because he's in Kit's body. Oh no, what are they gonna do? It's like on Darkwing, it has more dramatic weight because you have a crime fighter who faces, deadly threats every day, but now he's in the body of a little kid. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it makes more sense in the Darkwing plot, and it just flows better. I think the Tailspin episode is all right, but I don't think it's as good as this.
Okay. All right. So Mike and Lynette, the episode starts off with lightning on the bridge, and then we get into Darkwing's hideout, and he's trying to transfer. What was he trying to transfer from the computer to the Thunderquack mainframe? Right. He was trying to
transfer his files.
His files. That's correct.
Don't forget some video games.
And video games. Yeah.
Yeah, and video games. All right. And then Gaz and Honker pop up playing floor hockey.
Yeah, Darkwing gets hit right in the face with a puck, like right in the eyes, and gets thrown against the wall. Ow.
Yeah, and Goss is like, she's curious. She want to push buttons. She thinks Darkwing has all the cool gadgets, and
Oh, but before that, I love how the puck is on his head, and she comes in to like line up the shot, and he clears his throat, and she goes, "Just a second." Oh yeah, she's curious about the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I love this too. She says, "Grown-ups get all the neat stuff." And Darkwing kind of like repeats what she says, but he's all aggravated.
Oh yeah.
Grown-ups get all the neat stuff. It's great.
Yeah, but unfortunately though, Darkwing, one of the buttons gets stuck on the machine. He's really struggling with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's trying to put grease on it. He's trying to basically beat it in, and it's just not working.
Nope.
Yeah, so Lynette, do you remember what happens to the button?
Well, he was like trying to get some. He uses a hockey stick.
He uses the hockey stick, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just to like try to unscrew the button or something like that. Try to get the button to be more.
Long story short, he breaks it.
Yeah, he breaks the
button. And lightning hits the tower of the bridge, mm-hmm. and everyone gets shocked.
Yeah. So now we get Darkwing and Goss do a switch, and Honker and Launchpad do a switch. Now, Lynette and Mike, did y'all notice the eyes on all four of them?
Oh my. Will, the eyes. I'm okay with the
bugging eyes.
I'm okay with the eyes on Honker and Goslin's bodies. The big cartoony eyes are fine. But the tiny eyes on Launchpad, was anybody else freaked out by that?
No, not really. I can totally.
I mean, I wasn't like freaked out, but it's just so weird.
I'll give you that. It was weird. Yeah.
The irises and the eyelashes on Darkwing, it's okay. But just the tiny eyes on Launchpad, especially when he takes off his flight cap later on, it's got the hair and the tiny eyes. It's so weird.
All right, so then what happens after that? The switch, Mike.
Gigantor Hooter calls.
The Flash Quack pops up.
Yes, the Flash Quack. Yes. Oh, I screwed that one up. Yeah, the Flash Quack is back. Yeah, and Gigantor Hooter, he has to call Shush, but he can't sit down for the call because he's in Goslin's body. So Goslin just walks over and sits down.
Yeah, and she tells him that she's doing a disguised voice or something.
She's practicing to disguise her voice, yeah.
Yeah, and then Gigantor breaks the news that a rocket has been stolen by Fowl.
Iggy.
Mm-hmm. But we don't get Grizzly Cough on this one.
Nope, no Grizzly Cough. We don't get Grizzly Cough back for a little bit still. I don't quite recall when he does come back, but we're not going to see him for a little while still.
Yeah, and then Goss it switches scenes. Goss goes into the garage with Honker, and she wants to drive.
Yeah, she wants to drive. Why be in an adult's body if you can't do adult things?
Yeah. And
on top, by the way, on top of Launchpad looking strange with the tiny eyes, now his scarf is off.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Remember way back on Getting Antsy when I say he looks naked without his scarf?
Mm-hmm.
But now he's got no scarf, no flight cap, and tiny eyes with glasses on.
I did not notice that though. The scarf was missing.
Yeah, because he's got like a collar or something on the flight jacket. But Lynette, what happens when they get into the car?
Well, they actually drive recklessly all over town.
Oh yeah,
they just break through the garage door and they just drive recklessly all over town.
Yeah, they hit a fire hydrant. They ran through a picket fence.
They bounce off a diving board.
Yeah.
End up on a cliff.
Wasn't they on the electrical wires, like bouncing around?
They were bouncing off electrical wires, yeah. And then they crash through the top of the house, end up on the stairs. And Gosling goes, "Hunker, never ever let me do that again, okay?" Okay.
Well, in the meantime, DW and LP are at an Air Force base, I believe.
Yeah, they're trying to find what happened to the Iggy.
Mm-hmm. And they're trying to sneak in. It's not working.
Yeah. By the way, the security guard is voiced by Jim.
Oh, was it?
Because we have to point out every voice actor whenever they do a role. That's Jim.
All right, Jim.
Mm-hmm. They try to do the old G-Man routine where they stand on each other's shoulders and they wear a big trench coat.
Yeah.
You know, and that dates back all the way to Little Rascals, that kind of routine. And he doesn't fall for it.
No, not at all. And then so basically Darkwing and LP want to wait until the sun goes down so they can sneak in. They want to wait till nighttime.
Does the sun go down?
It doesn't go down at all.
Nope.
Yeah, so then and they're off in the rat catcher. We get the rat catcher and the thunderquack in the same episode.
Yes, we do. And then they get the attention of a motorcycle cop.
Mm-hmm.
Voiced by Rob Paulsen, which should give you a hint of who our villain is.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then he takes him home with Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say Gosling can't wait to chew out Darkwing like he chews her out.
Oh yeah, but she realized the sun isn't moving either. That it's like 10 o'clock and it's broad daylight.
Yeah, she notices it too.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny when the police drops off Darkwing and Launchpad. She's pretending to have a deep voice. Christine Cavanaugh, man, it's hilarious when she's trying to talk like a man, you know?
It's funny.
Yeah.
You know, it's so weird to hear their voices coming out of the different characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not weird. It's just they don't. I don't know. It's weird to hear Gosling's voice coming out of Darkwing's body. It's enjoyable though. It makes the episode fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And she tells him, "You're grounded for life, and your allowance is suspended until further notice." Fun, huh? Just like when you yell at me.
Yeah, and it's hilarious too because Darkwing says, "I don't talk like that," you know.
And he opens the door and sees the car on the staircase.
Oh man, he grounds her for life. And loses her allowance. Yep.
Lynette, take it from here. What happens next?
There's another call from Chess.
Yeah, Flashquack goes up again.
Flashquack flies in, man. It's Jay Gander.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he shows them the video of what villain, Lynette?
Steelbeak.
Yeah. Do you like Steelbeak?
Oh, I just love his voice though. He sounded like like a person that loves the ladies and be all pinster or whatnot. He's like a ladies man.
When we first recorded Waterway to Go, which as of this recording hasn't even aired yet, Steelbeak was created specifically for Rob Paulsen to voice. And I love him in this role. He's great.
Yeah, I don't know if you're a Ninja Turtle fan, Lynette, but Rob Paulsen also did the voice of Raphael on the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I totally remember watching the 87 Ninja Turtles.
And of course, Yakko on Animaniacs and Pinky.
Yes, huge fan of
he's
Pinky
gonna
and
be
the Brain.
Yeah, he's going to be in the reboot.
Mm-hmm.
They got all the old voice cast back for the reboot. I hope that reboot's good, but I don't have really high hopes for it. I hope it's good, though.
Yeah, same here.
Now, Mike, did you notice that we were almost at the 11-minute mark when we finally get to see Steelbeak?
Yeah, Steelbeak has a tendency to show up late in a lot of episodes. This is not the latest he actually shows up, but it's still the first act is almost over and he's finally showing up.
Mhm.
Yeah, like over 10 minutes in. But
Yeah.
it's a great sequence. So Rob just gets to do basically a big monologue.
Yeah. Now on the video, Mike and Lynette, what does Steelbeak reveal?
Oh, he reveals his plan.
Oh yeah, stop the Earth from moving.
Mm-hmm.
He's using the Iggy. He has the Iggy making the Earth stop rotating. I love how I love the little vocal things that Steelbeak has. Like he calls it television. And he wants, what does he want? How much money does he want? 1 trillion?
Yeah, 1 trillion.
1 trillion.
He said 1 trillion smackaroos or something, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he reveals that one side of the Earth is burning, the other side is freezing.
Yep, and that's why the sun isn't set.
Hmm.
And we get to hear that great Steelbeak theme again.
Oh yeah, the little jazz themes.
Yeah, I was watching the episode with my wife and my daughter last night, and when this scene happened, my wife goes, "I love the Steelbeak music." It's great. And so yeah, what happens now?
All four take off, don't they?
Yep, all in the Thunderquack.
And,
Darkwing and Goslin are both dressed as Darkwing.
yeah, and Gosling gets to say, "Let's get dangerous."
Yeah, she punches the statue too.
Hmm. Oh yeah, she sure did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the statue for the chairs to spin.
Yeah, since this is an earlier episode, Goslin hasn't had a lot of opportunities to be a crime fighter with Darkwing, so this must be really exciting for her.
Oh yeah, and then we get Eggman.
Yes, we get a couple of Eggmen. I think they're both voiced by Rob. One definitely is. I'm not sure about the other one, but I think they're both voiced by him.
Yeah, and they're just guarding the I don't want to say the rocket, but more like the base where the rocket is, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's what they're doing.
Hmm. And Darkwing and Launchpad, it's hilarious how they're trying to sneak in. They're trying to act like little kids, running around.
And you think that Launchpad's going to get in trouble for being a bully, but it turns out the Eggmen love bullies.
Yeah.
You want us to rough her up for you?
Yeah.
And then they get hit by 2x4s. Goslin and Honker knocks them out.
Yeah, and then they're in the base. What happens next, Mike?
What happens next is that Darkwing and Launchpad are sneaking around, which is easy to do when you're like size of a 9-year-old.
Mhm.
But then they run right into Steelbeak.
Yeah, right off the bat, as soon as they get in there.
Yeah, he calls him Darkwing Doofus. He's like, you're not going to earn any points dressing up like Darkwing Doofus, kid.
He does that a lot, says Darkwing Doofus, doesn't he?
Yeah, later he calls him Dimwing Dork. And
And-
so Darkwing's talking, and Steelbeak's like, boy, you sure have his stupid voice and chordy patter down. So you know what this sequence actually reminds me a bit of? I don't know if you guys you will agree. Coming up, the original Star Wars, sneaking around the Death Star.
Oh, with the stormtroopers.
Dressing up like stormtroopers.
Oh, yeah,
because Goslin and Honker show up dressed as Eggmen.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely has that Star Wars vibe.
Yeah,
Doesn't it?
it sure does. Yeah, I didn't even think of that reference, man.
I mean, it goes by really fast. It's a very short scene. I don't even know if it's intentionally referencing it, but that's the vibe I got.
Lynette, are you into Star Wars?
I'm a casual Star Wars fan.
Okay, I'm one of those guys. I watch all the Star Wars movies. I'm into them, but I don't know all the spaceships. I don't know all the planets. I'm not a Star Wars nerd like that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
I love the original trilogy, and then I kind of drop off from there.
Yeah. So, okay, let's get back to the storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Yeah. So the Steelbeak makes fun of Darkwing as Goslin, and then Goz and Honk dress up as Eggman. No, wait, I skipped something. Steelbeak puts them in a suit and tells the Eggman, in the space
dispose
suit.
of it.
Yeah, tells them to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And then it's Goz and Honk those dressed as the Eggman.
Right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Goslin takes off her helmet, and Steelbeak sees them and sends Eggman after them.
Yeah, but while he sees them, ain't he on like a video call with Jay Gander about the negotiations?
Yeah, Jay Gander's trying to stall so Darkwing can have time to solve everything.
Mm-hmm.
Also, $1 trillion, that's not easy to come by.
Oh yeah, and what's also funny though, when he I might have skipped something here. Is this when he catches a Darkwing, no, wait. When he sent out the Eggman to capture them, because he noticed Darkwing. Did you notice one of the rewards was Quackerware?
Yeah, I think it's the first time somebody mentions Quackaware in the show.
That's the first time, but it comes back up again several times, don't it?
Yeah, because who sells Quackaware?
Hey, hey.
Who sells Quackaware? Come on, you guys know.
Herb.
Yep. Herb's got groupies, you know. We're a ways off from that episode.
Yeah.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Yeah, I just had to bring it up though, because I caught that. I was like, wait a minute, let me rewind that real quick. What did he just say?
Yeah, I did too. He mentions Quackaware.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a scuffle. Everyone crashes into each other. The gravity control gets messed up. The people are floating everywhere. And then Steelbeak catches Goslin and Honker and ties them to the engine.
Rose Duck.
Yep, and there's some good music in this scene too. The chase music is great.
Mm-hmm.
And so Darkwing and Launchpad have to save the kids.
Yeah, what kind of room were they in? Didn't he refer to like an air pressure room or something?
Yeah, something like that. And he turns up the pressure, and the two of them become pancakes.
Did you notice Launchpad broke the fourth wall on that scene?
A couple of times too, yeah.
Yeah, he definitely broke it, man. In the honker body.
Yeah, because Darkwing says, "Launchpad, I need your head," and he goes, "Whoa, I've never heard that before," or something like that.
Yeah, and then we get back to Jay Gander and Steelbeak. They're conversating about the ransom. Steelbeak realizes he's stalling.
Yeah, my favorite Steelbeak line in this episode, by the way, is when Jay Gander says they can't come up with $1 trillion, and Steelbeak goes, "Tell them to raise up some taxes." Like they need an excuse, right? Because they don't need an excuse.
Yeah, and then Mike, we get the terror line. Go for it.
Yes! He goes, "I am the butter that burns in your pan." And catch that little animation, that little thing they do with the little shine on Steelbeak's beak.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
Yeah, we get the
gleam on it.
Yeah, we get his intro line late in this episode.
Very late.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay though, as long as we get it.
Yeah, and then Darkwing and Steelbeak kind of go at it a little bit, right?
Well, yeah, Darkwing and Steelbeak go at it. Steelbeak pulls out a machine gun. I think that's what it is. Machine gun.
Yeah.
He's firing at Darkwing. Darkwing's jumping around. Good thing Goslin's body's in such good shape.
Yeah.
And
Darkwing starts moving the rocket.
Yes, he's getting it back into position so that the Earth can get moving again.
Mm-hmm. And this part I got a little confused. Maybe you and Lynette can help me out here. Everybody got electrocuted. Where did that come from?
Lynette, you remember?
Not really.
Yeah, I got a little lost there, man. I was like,
Darkwing and Steelbeak fall on the electrical panel.
Oh, okay.
Because when the rocket starts to move, everyone loses their balance.
Okay, I remember everybody losing their balance and falling and stuff, but I didn't see what happened, like what caused it. And it was like a big old chain reaction,
Yeah, because then they get shocked, and the shock moves through a vent, and then shocks the other ones outside of the control room. Because everybody's waiting out there for Darkwing to do something.
Now, Lynette, do you remember who switched back first?
I'm going to guess Honker and Launchpad.
Yeah, they switched back first.
And once they switch back, all their clothing is on the correct person.
Mm-hmm.
Honker gets his glasses back. Launchpad automatically gets his scarf back.
Yeah, and his pilot hat.
Yeah, so they're all back to normal at least. The costumes are now the right costumes. Mm-hmm. And the problem with when Darkwing and Goslin switch back is that now Goslin's up against Steelbeak.
Yeah, that's a big problem. Little girl, huh?
She goes, "Watch it, you can hurt somebody."
Yeah, because he came out ready to bash her, didn't he?
Yeah, Steelbeak's getting pissed, man.
Oh, yeah, he's really upset. He's getting annoyed.
He's not having a good day.
Yeah, and then Goslin she pushes every button on the
because
rocket.
she has to start the engine again. That's the big component. They have to get the engine going.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens next, Lynette?
Well, Goslin just comes out of that small space and then greets Darkwing by saying, "Hi, Dad. Bye, Dad," then leaves.
Yep. That's funny.
Yeah, Goss was hilarious on this episode.
Everyone rushes out of the rocket. Steelbeak is like he's ready to murder everybody, but he just doesn't get out. Door closes, locks him in the rocket, and the rocket takes off.
Yeah. So Mike, how does the episode close out?
So Steelbeak's gone, and Darkwing makes a comment. He goes, "I wouldn't want to be in his shoes or anybody else's." And then Gosling gives him a hug.
Yeah.
It's a cute ending.
All right, so the episode's over. Mike, Lynette, what did y'all think of the episode?
It was a really good episode.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of blew through the plot, but I think it's a really, really strong episode. It's like the animation isn't like terrific or anything, but it's a fun story. It gives all four heroes a chance to interact together. Because we don't get a lot of episodes where all four of them are always together throughout the entire show like that.
Yeah.
So I like the ones we get where it does happen. So I like that. And, you know, I talked about Steelbeak last time, how I don't think he really grew as a villain, but he's great in this one.
Okay.
So he's fine, and it's just a good episode. It takes a very cliched trope and has fun with it.
Okay. So now, Lynette, with our scoring system on each episode, we like to refer to it as gas gun canisters.
Okay.
How many gas gun canisters would you give this episode out of 5?
Oh, well, I'll say a 4.
A 4? Okay.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Why is that? Well, I really like the theming of the Freaky Friday episode, as well as the Earth stopped moving by any chance, but kind of reminds me of the season 2 finale. And yeah, that's basically much about it, as well as Steelbeak and describing the plan on how the Earth stops moving, using the ice cream to make part of the frozen, and the boiling pot to be all the
that was funny.
And whatnot.
He put the globe in the frying pan and dropped ice cream on top of it. That was pretty funny.
How about you, Mike? How many gas gun canisters are you giving this one?
I'm gonna give it 3.
Okay.
I think, like I said, it's the characters are strong, Steelbeak is fun, and it's a good episode. Animation isn't all that great, but it's fine. 3 gas canisters is my score.
Okay, I'm gonna give it 3.5. I know we've seen Freaky Friday, we've seen vice versa, so it's nothing new. You mentioned we've seen it in Tailspin. But for a Darkwing episode, it's fun. It's something different. It's not the typical Darkwing. To get a little break, because from 91 episodes, you don't want to see the same thing over and over. So I like it. It's not top 10 for me or anything like that, but it's one I enjoy from time to time.
Speaking of, you know what? I'll ask you guys if you've ever seen it. Speaking of body switching episodes. Have either of you seen that Futurama episode where literally every character on the show switches bodies over and over and over again, and they have to come up with this crazy math problem to solve it?
Oh, no.
No.
I'm not a Futurama guy.
You're not? How about you, Lynette?
No, I haven't seen one.
Oh, man. It's like the ultimate body switching episode. It's like if you want to see any show take that trope and just go insane with it, oh, it's a shame you guys don't like the show. Oh, it's a really good episode. I just wanted to throw it out there.
No, I like the show. It's just I haven't seen that episode.
The episode's called The Prisoner of Benda.
Oh, okay.
So, give it a watch. It's like all the entire cast switches bodies back and forth until nobody knows who's in each other's body anymore.
Yeah. I remember Transformer did it once too. They did it with Spike and Bumblebee.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they did it on it was I think the first season they did that on. I don't remember the name of the episode, but definitely I remember that happening.
Yeah, Disney was still doing this plot years later. There's a Kim Possible episode with this plot.
Yes. Okay, so it's a recyclable plot, but it is, Darkwing did it in a fun way. I enjoyed the Darkwing one.
Yeah, it's my favorite of all besides the Futurama one, it's my favorite use of this trope.
Okay. Now, Lynette, we've already gave our score for Steelbeak, where our gas gun canister, I would like for you to do the same thing. How would you rate Steelbeak with gas gun canisters on a scale of 5, but not just this episode, overall? Steelbeak as an overall character.
Okay, I'll definitely say a 5 right there.
Oh, you got a
wow. That's top tier then.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, I really like him.
I get it. I like Steelbeak a lot too. To me, he's one of those villains that I just love when he comes on. He's not my favorite, but yeah, he's up there though. He's definitely up there.
Like I said, he's fun for a while, and then like Quackerjack and Negaduck show up and start to overshadow him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we talked about that before though.
Oh yeah.
And I'm sure I'll talk about it again. So yeah,
right.
that's Trading Faces.
Yep, Trading Faces. What episode we got next, Mike?
Not looking forward to this one, I'll be honest.
Me neither.
Hush Hush Sweet Charlatan. Another Tuscanini show.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one.
It's probably the episode out of all the ones we've done I'm looking forward to least after the Apes of Wrath one. So yeah, not it'll be fine, but not a favorite.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, that's next.
All right. So Lynette, where can the listeners reach you at on social media and stuff?
Oh, okay. So I am all over the place. So you can definitely follow me on Twitter. It's at Lynette Okoroike. You want me to spell it out for you?
Go for it.
Okay, it's LYNETTEOKOROIKE on Twitter.
Okay, I'll definitely put that on the description of this episode.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, of course.
Just go right there.
You got anywhere else where they can find you at?
I'm on Instagram. I'm on at chichimaka64, which is CHICHIMAKA64 on Instagram.
Okay.
And Mike, where can they reach you at, man?
Just Facebook. That's how it is. Mike Russo at Facebook.
You got to get Mike just off of Facebook. All right, and I'm Will Santana. I'm also on Facebook. You can follow us on the St. Canard Files, the Darkwing Duck podcast Facebook page. We're also on Instagram. Instagram page has been popping, man, Mike, since I've been back from Portland.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's popping, and we're not on Twitter yet. I keep saying I'm going to create a Twitter page. I need to go ahead and create us a Twitter page. But Mike, where can they listen to the podcast on?
Stitcher, Spotify, Apple devices, Google Play, YouTube, Pocket Cast. I remembered it this time.
You remember.
And what was the other one, though?
Radio Public or something.
Radio Public. I'll remember that one someday. And Radio Public, too. Yeah, so we are very easy to find us. We're on almost every podcast app, which is good.
And Mike, oh, my bad. I was just going to say, Mike, the last couple of episodes, I gave a shout out to, so the people who've been very active on our page. So this week, I want to give a shout out to Oscar Tamayo. I'm not sure if I pronounced your last name correctly. I apologize. He's been very active in our page. But he originally, you might not know him as that name, Mike. He was originally on our page as Colonel Hannibal something with an AT. I'm not an AT guy.
Both of those names ring a bell.
Okay.
Yeah. But thank you for being so active. Definitely.
Yeah. All right. So that concludes Trading Faces. So remember, guys, stay dangerous.
Yep. Have a good night.
Bye.